What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're in the kiln, right? And even though we're in a different location, we're trying to evolve from man to Superman. Alright, so if you guys are familiar with the previous relatively short video, I basically talked about the aims and goals of the brigade, right? Which are to try to improve my castings, right? We really want to get good with the pyromancer because based upon how I see it, that is probably one of the most effective and dangerous builds out there, right? So and the times that I'm out there doing PvP, not only in this vid, but also, you know, when I'm kind of not even recording or uploading, you'll notice that I am trying my hardest to reduce the time that I basically have my shield in hand. I'm really trying to engage with no shield as best as possible, which will be a challenge for me because, you know, I'm pretty good at doing those setup parries. Right, and because I'm good in doing that, a lot of times I rely heavily on my shield. But with a new attack strategy, I have to do something different. Right, so in a lot of cases I'll be more evasive, right, because I won't have the protection. Well, actually, I will have it, but I'm trying not to rely so heavily on it. You know, I won't be having my shield erected as much as I did before. And I'll be using the fast roll. Right now I won't be using any Darkwood grain ring, and I think that's an added benefit. Not only is it an added benefit in my personal opinion, but I think it's a little more realistic. Right? I mean, the little ninja, it kind of looks cool, but I mean, sometimes I'm playing the game and I'm, you know, kind of, you know, watching myself doing the ninja flips, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting kind of ridiculous. Now, this is not to say that I just go constantly with the ninja flips, but I just think that the fast roll looks a lot better. Now, the benefits of the Darkwood grain ring, as most of you know, there's only less than 50% weight requirement, whereas with the fast roll, your weight restrictions are very tight. Right, because you need to have your equipment weight under 25%, which very much, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're pretty much narrowing down your choices with regard to weapons. Like right now, I mean, you know, I basically have very low defense. Right, if you guys are familiar with the stats of that particular armor set, I think I have, and that's even with the humanity, I think I have like 200 and some defense. Right, so it pretty much sucks with regard to physical defense. And not only that, I only have 1500 vitality. Right, now I'm not saying 1500 is necessarily bad, but I do know that a lot of guys out there are kind of like in the 18 to 2000 range at least. And actually, now that I kind of say something about 1800 to 2000, one thing that I have noticed within the past few days is that there are an awful lot of players out there who use that ridiculous family masks. There are tons of guys out there who are using those ridiculous family masks. Now, I do understand the benefit, right? And I also understand that people need to select the equipment that is most appropriate for their build. I got that too. But those family masks, I mean, they're just ugly. Like flat out, dude, they're ugly. And I don't think an honest person would deny that. They are very ugly, and this is one of the reasons why, regardless of the benefits that they may offer, I just simply refuse to wear one of those ridiculous family masks. Right? If I have to compensate by using a case in point, this guy has got that ugly, you know, mask of the father. Now, Okay, I'm level 125. So I'm trying to figure, I mean, what level is this guy? Because he could probably, based upon how he put his stats, he could wear that. I mean, he can use that, you know, that, what is that? Great Demon Hammer? That's what it looks like. Great Demon Axe or something like that. He could probably use, oh, well, he's got a lot of strength and he's a mage. Okay, well, this person is probably at a high level. But I don't know. He could have used the grass, right, for fast stamina. He could have also used the grass shield, you know, the grass crest shield for the stamina increase. But that ridiculous mask is just so ugly, I just flat out refuse to use it. Right, but it's a personal choice. I'm not saying anything against the people who use it. I'm just saying that the masks themselves are pretty unattractive. And I have noticed that, dude. I mean, if I had a penny for every Mask of the Mother that I have run into within the last couple days, I would probably be retired by now. Right? And personally, one thing in the brigade, you know, not only do we like to play well, but we also like to look kind of cool. Right? And I think those family masks kind of bring your cool look down probably about 50 points. Right? That's how bad they look. Right? So enough rant about those ridiculous family masks. Alright. So, with regard to this build, I'm trying to decide what my secondary weapon will be. My primary weapon will be either a Chaos plus 5 Balder Sword or a plus 15 Balder Sword. Now, why one but not both? Well, the thing is, the Balder Sword, even though it is considered a dexterity weapon, there's still scaling, even though a little bit, there's still some scaling in strength. Right? And even though I had no stats in strength, I think that the Chaos Balder Sword will inflict a little more damage. Right, but I don't know. I mean, because every now and then I'll use a plus 15 Balder Sword and I'll just buff it with one of those, I think it's called the charcoal resin. And that's pretty good. Right, it's still pretty good. So I don't know. I might just end up using the plus 15. And my secondary weapon, I'm still trying to decide what I want to use. Right, I'm not really... like probably 85% of the players out there, and I don't really, you know, so I don't use katanas. I mean, because that's another thing that I've realized. Probably about 80% of the guys, well, I can't say 80, that's probably an exaggeration. But I'll say a good majority of the players out there are using katanas. Right? But I'm not really into katanas. You know, they're cool, they're fast, you know, they're kind of good with the bleed effect and all like that, but I don't know, I've never really gotten into the katanas. I mean, I might use the Chaos Blade every now and then, but I mean, am I kind of like a fanboy of katanas? No. Another one of those weapons, that Life Hunt Scythe or something like that, I think that's what it's called. I mean, it's effective, you know, it gives a 500 bleed, but I never really practiced with it. You know, I've seen guys kind of use it, you know, and it seems like the moveset kind of sucks. I mean, you have that, you know, sprinting, jump, dash attack type deal. And you have those awkward swings that appear to be, even though they're kind of strong, they seem to be very slow. Right? And when you're dealing with those slow swinging weapons, it really can leave you open for attacks, which I don't like. And this is why in most cases, I like to use either a rapier for the forward thrusts, and I think the forward thrusts are kind of good for those guys who are pretty good at parrying, because those forward thrusts can sometimes be kind of unpredictable. And I also like the Balder Sword because it's fast and is effective, and I think that R2 thrust is pretty strong as well. Alright, so I'm trying to decide what should I use, because I like the Life Hunt Scythe. I think that's one of those weapons that you should probably use for what do they call that? Dead angle or something like that, or whatever kind of damage they call that eats through a shield. So I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. So I'll still be experimenting, but I'll definitely be using a Balder sword, and more than likely I'll probably pull out a rapier as well, because the rapier, well, actually, if you guys will notice, if you catch me doing a backstab or a riposte with that ridiculous Balder sword, I mean, the damage sucks, personally. And I think I probably need to pull out either the standard rapier or the S-stock to kind of give me a boost with the critical attacks in the event that I'm able to get one. So now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might just go ahead and use a rapier as a secondary weapon, and a Balder sword as a primary weapon. And that'll be in my right hand, with the heater shield and the pyro glove in the left hand. And if you guys notice, I am really trying my hardest to go without using that shield. And I have been doing this for I don't know, probably about past 4 or 5 days or so. And it's pretty difficult, in my personal opinion. And I'm not saying it's difficult because, I mean, there's some kind of high-speed skill you need to do it. But what I'm saying is, when you're used to being dependent on the shield, it's kind of hard to go from dependent upon the shield to dependent upon evasion. So that's what I'm really trying to get proficient in. My evasion tactics, which I think will, make me a better player overall. I mean, because anyone can kind of hold your shield up, right? But I think you need a little skill, right? Or a little, I don't know, I would say a little more attention to detail to be able to evade those attacks, those incoming attacks. Alright, so enough about that. Now, if you guys notice, he has cast probably about 4 or 5 of those ridiculous sorceries. And I think he missed all of them. I mean, he may have hit me with one. But that's exactly what I'm talking about with regard to the mage. Although they are strong once they hit you with the sorceries, the hard thing is trying to is trying to connect. It's ridiculous. I mean, that guy cast, I think, like 4 or 5 times, maybe more, maybe a little less. I don't know. I wasn't really counting as he was casting. But he missed the vast majority of the time. Right? Alright. And this is one of those weapons that seem to be effective, but I just never really messed with it. So I don't know. I might kind of experiment with it to see if I want to use that as a secondary. Right? Because I can have a Balder. Did that Wrath of Gods just deflect that fireball? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll see. I might have to do the same thing that I'm doing with the pyro and just go ahead and experiment with it, right? Win, lose, or draw, in an effort to get better. Because I've seen a lot of guys effective with it, but I don't know. I've just never really gotten into it. I mean, it kind of looks cool. It's kind of like a Grim Reaper weapon or something. So, I don't know. We'll see. Alright. Now, ordinarily, I just would have had my shield up with those attacks. Right? But as I said before, I'm really trying to get away from that shield. Alright. Get off it, dude. You didn't summon me. I'm invading you. Alright. So let's see what we got here. He's got a great sword of Artorias. It looks like it's the cursed version. He's got that ridiculous swing going on. And see, that should have hit. That appeared to hit him dead on. It looked like he's trying to hit me with a backstab. Okay, so I probably should try to hit him off with one. Another cartwheeler. Man, I missed. And see, you know, right after I kicked, what I should have done was hit him with the Great Combustion. Now, that probably would have been more effective. And actually, sometimes, you know, I intend to do things, especially with the kicks. There's a lot of times where I may be playing against a guy who's pretty good at parrying. And my intent is actually to kick. But, you know, if you're not doing that simultaneous motion good enough, you will actually swing. And once you swing, I mean, you end up getting parried. And I've done that kind of a lot of times. You know, so I had to do a lot of practice with those kicks because I was noticing that sometimes maybe, you know, if it's not in sync, you'll end up swinging, right? Which is what your opponent wanted you to do anyway. But it is obviously not what you wanted it to do. So, let's see, he's using it. And he seems to be effective with it. And it doesn't look like he have the reticle on. So I think he's kind of trying to freestyle with it, which makes it even more unpredictable and can make you more susceptible to those dead angle attacks. So he has two pretty good dead angle weapons. Alright, the Murakumo is pretty awesome with regard to that. Especially, there's one tactic that I use when I use it. Like I'll keep the target on for the first hit, and immediately after the first hit I would unlock the target, and you know, you just kind of do that back and forth swinging type of deal. And since that Murakumo is so strong, I mean, you can really easily take off like 1200 vitality and after like 3 swings. Alright, back in the kiln. The gloomy green. Okay, dude. Eat a few poison darts. Alright, he's got a buff, so I really need to be careful. But see, that was another instance. He should have ate that fireball. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw something different, but it pretty much looked like it connected to me. But, I mean, that's one of those things where you have to take practice into consideration. And this is why, you know, I'm using this build as often as I will be using it. Right? Because I really need to figure out what are the shortcomings to, you know, with regard to casting. Ouch. That hurt, didn't it? Alright. Is this the Sword of Artorias guy again? Yes, it is. The flipper. And this is what I mean by saying that the flips can become annoying. Like if you notice, a lot of the times where he's flipping, he's not even dodging an attack. Right? I'm not even swinging at the guy. He's just, and actually I'm at a, you know, kind of like at a far distance, and he's just flipping for the sake of flipping. And this is why I started to use the fast roll. Right? And I think on some of my other characters, I'll probably try to do something similar. Right? Like even on my Faith Mage. Or maybe my Pure Faith build, you know, instead of relying heavily on that super big armor, you know, even the medium armor, I might just try to experiment with just light armor. Right? So mostly all my characters can go with the fast roll. And actually I think I might make that a goal of mine. Right? Because I think some of the heavier armors look, now this is not to say that I won't ever use any of the medium or heavy armors. But I just think some of the builds that I have now, I'm going to, I don't know, kind of make a equipment selection that will enable me to do some of the, you know, fast rolls. I think they just look better. That ninja flip can really, you know, become obnoxious sometimes. So I don't know. We'll see. Because, I mean, that black dress looks cool. Right, I took off her leggings so she can, you know, show some of the legs off. No offense to some of my female subscribers. Alright. So it looked like he tried to counter parry me, so I probably need to stay away from this dude. He's got that ridiculous mask of the fire. I hate those masks. Nice. Very nice. And this is why I say those pyromancies can really be effective. If you guys notice, you know, the times that I've cast and compare it to the time that I've actually connected, it seems to me to be at a far higher connection rate than it would be had I been a pure, you know, mage caster. Because I'm sorry, those, and like I said in the past, this is why I use the Tranquil Walk, right, with that particular character, you know, to make it more effective, you know, because I don't think an honest person can sit here and look you in your face and say, hey dude, I mean, you can just connect without it. No, dude. Those things are so easy to dodge. Okay. Well, whatever. And you know, I've been hitting these, well, except for then, but I think it's pretty easy to hit with these pyromancies. Ah, so he's a pyromancer too, so I basically need to back off and let him go ahead and burn out some of his castings. Because actually, with this particular build, I have 7 slots, which I think is 28 attunement or something like that. So, I think my second time around, what I'm going to do is you know, get a second round of everything. And then try to figure out what exactly I want to have filled in my 7 slots. Like right now, I don't have, actually I don't have the Fire Tempest. I have that Chaos one, and the reason why I use that is because of the lava remnants. Right, I think that's a little better, but I think what I might do is just take that off and go with the Fire Tempest, and that in turn will enable me to have another free slot. Right, so shout out to good old Damage CK. If you guys are familiar with him, he's on the good old forums, right? And I had a few bouts with him in the video that I previously had. All right, guys. So this is the end of it. I'll let you guys just go ahead and watch this last bout. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for more pyro videos, right? In my efforts to go from man to Superman. All right, guys. Martyrs Brigade is